feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride away.
So yeah. What else? What else was? I thought I had something else on this joint. I don't want to just immediately. Oh, let me get into the. Let me get into the Diddy stuff real quick. So there was just one incident with the Diddy stuff that I wanted to. Oh, here we go. So the judge in the Diddy case has granted a gag order for both sides. They want no more leaks and comments to the press. And this is after Diddy's attorneys is accusing the prosecutors, the feds, of essentially leaking out information about their investigation and also about witnesses or allowing witnesses to leak stuff to the press, which obviously, number one, makes Diddy look more guilty. But for them, it feels like, hey, y'all are also trying to taint this process in court of public opinion when it should only be figured out in court. Now, if we go back on this is the reason why people think that CNN released the Cassie tape, because rather than when you hear the details, you think Cassie is a co-conspirator and that she's Ghislaine Maxwell to Diddy's Jeffrey Epstein. You're now going to look at Cassie and you're going to say, no, Shorty, you're a victim. You were running away from this nigga. He was hauling you in, throwing shit at you, dragging you back. Yeah, he was beating your ass too. So even though you're recruiting these dudes or sex workers to be involved in these freak-offs, you're a victim, right? So people felt like that was a play by the feds. So Diddy's lawyer, Mark Agnifilio, filed this gag order filed this motion for the judge to consider a gag order. And this is basically what the judge said. So the judge's name is Arun Subramanian. I think it's some Indian dude, right? Or he looks Indian. I don't know. Yeah, this nigga right here. I don't know what he looked like. Somebody gonna be like, he's not Indian, he's Pakistani. Like, nigga, I don't know, bro. I do not fucking know. Anyway, that's the judge. The judge says, and I ain't gonna read the whole thing because I ain't trying to bore you out to death, but basically, the judge declined to adopt either side proposal in full. So both of them had a proposed order for a gag order. Diddy wanted the feds and everybody who's a witness, potential witness, victim, to shut the fuck up. Or else, and they wanted the judge to grant that gag order. What that could have done is, say Cassie's lawyer or Cassie says something, maybe that could be used to throw out some evidence that could be used later. Now, they even also asked for the video of Cassie getting her ass whipped, respectfully, in the hotel to be thrown out because they felt the feds leaked it. And the judge basically said, we're not going to agree with you in full, and we're not going to agree with the prosecutor. The prosecutor was saying, yo, Diddy's lawyer is going on press outlets calling us racist, like we're only prosecuting Diddy because he's black. No, we prosecute him because he's having freak-offs against people's will, and he's sex trafficking, right? So the judge basically said they consider both orders, right, proposed orders, and they declined to adopt both of them. Instead, they're going to find that a order underscoring the party's existing responsibilities, they're going to cite some rules. And essentially, this is the order they put in. So the new order, or the order, that the judges now agreed to is that assistant U.S. attorneys, which means the lawyers, the prosecutors, and staff members working under the supervision of the direction collectively called the government, and all federal and local enforcement whom the government has provided with access to grand jury materials cannot disclose any grand jury materials in violation of blah, 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 blah. Now, why is this important? This is super important for Diddy, and this is a small win, because there are some rumors that maybe some of these videotapes of these sex parties that, you know, whether they're consensual or not or whatever, apparently the feds or someone, you know, some people who are working on the government side is saying, yo, let the press see this, that they could print up articles. Because put it like this, right? Like, you see, we just talked about New York Post. They're going on this whole thing saying, oh, there's a video of Diddy with a male who's younger. Well, if Diddy's gay, that's not a crime, right? Like we all think Diddy's gay at this point. That's not a crime. Is Diddy fucking a teenager, or is he just fucking someone younger than him? Even if it's a man. All right, we get it, he's gay, but that's not a crime. So, people feel like the feds are, trying to use the taboos of hip hop to kind of make people look at Diddy as like this pariah, this like, monster. But maybe it's not. Like, for example, with all due respect, and I'm going to call these people names, but allegedly, I don't know. If Diddy's fucking Justin Bieber and Justin Bieber is 21 and Diddy's like 39, make your face up at it all you want. That ain't illegal unless Justin Bieber ain't with it. Now, I'm not saying that that's the case, or I'm not saying that exists. I'm just using them as an example. So whatever that is, people think that the government is playing these media games, right? So anyway, basically and by the way, who would see these videos? The grand jury. So the court or the judge is really just kind of closing that loophole to say anybody that has access to grand jury materials, which means videos, any information about what Diddy's been up to or whatever, y'all can't say anything no more, okay? They must comply with Rule 23.1, which means shut the fuck up, okay? The defendant, too, Sean Combs and all his attorneys, so they just admonished the state, or not state, the government, the USA government. Number 2 is that Diddy and his lawyers. Diddy, all attorneys for Diddy, and any individuals working under Diddy's, supervision, which means private investigators, other people who might be assistants, whatever, they also got to comply with local rule 23.1, which means shut the fuck up. A copy of rule 23.1 is attached to the order. So basically, the judges said, both of y'all shut the fuck up and no more leaks from either side, okay? It says nothing in this order supersedes or overrides the obligations set forth in the protective order, and the clerk of the court is respectfully directed to terminate the motion at Okay, so that's it. And this is the rule that they were talking about, which means that there is some duty of free press, but no info that will be used against Diddy that is right now considered privileged. For example, grand jury material or material that would be in a discovery, none of that could be spoken upon or disseminated, whether directly or indirectly. And if it is, there could be punitive actions done by the judge, which means throwing out evidence or putting other, restrictive measures if it's the defense. Okay, cool. I mean, Diddy's already locked up, so it's not that they could be like revoke a bond. But if he had a bond, they could be like, I will revoke your bond if you leak some shit. So that's kind of like the new update. And I think that's good for Diddy, right? It's going to at least still the waters a bit, at least with the people who are potential. By the way, I think they denied that potential witnesses can't speak out. So these people would have to be already listed in the indictment. So it doesn't mean any victim, quote unquote, can't speak out. It's victims that are in the case and have testified at the grand jury. So they'll probably they won't be allowed to testify if there's a punitive measure done, if they keep running their mouth and they were in the grand jury. So the point is this. I think this is a small win for Diddy. Every week, every Monday, and tomorrow's another Monday, we're going to see probably another 5 lawsuits from Tony Busby, or maybe 6 or 10, who knows, because he's going to eventually file all these lawsuits against Diddy for the 120 people he's representing. And every time we hear these allegations, it look worse and worse and worse, and then somebody else that used to work with him realize he's done, they sue as well. So Diddy needs some stillness in anticipation of him possibly going in front of a judge, not judge, but a jury at a later time and a trial. If you're going off what you hear in the press, he's guilty already. You don't even want to hear it. Baby oil. You seen the video of him beating Cassie? Like, this nigga look guilty as fuck, right? So he's trying to get still the waters. Let's try to have the people, before we even get to jury selection, get a couple months in between that, or a year. And then hopefully that's not in their minds so fresh that Diddy's guilty, and they can have an open mind, because I don't think, they're not going to move this to a new venue or nothing like that. Anyway, cool. So that's the update on Diddy. Judge says everybody shut the fuck up, and that's the whole point, right?